California isn't just cracking. It's coming apart. Beneath the picture-perfect beaches, luxury homes, and golden sunsets, the state's housing dream is turning into an expensive nightmare. Interest rates hover near 7%, insurance premiums have jumped roughly 40% statewide, and buyer confidence has all but disappeared. In this video, we're breaking down 10 California cities facing the steepest home price drops in 2025. From tech hubs to coastal escapes, these places aren't simply cooling, they're freezing over. This isn't a small adjustment. It's a market reckoning. If you're planning to buy, sell, or invest in California, stay tuned, because what you learn here could save you tens of thousands of dollars or cost you just as much if you miss it. Subscribe to our channel, where we uncover the real truth about America's shifting housing markets. Number 10, Stockton. Stockton was once a dream destination for remote workers, a city that offered space, affordability, and just enough distance from the Bay Area to feel like an escape. But in 2025, that momentum has reversed, and it's happening fast. Median home prices have fallen by more than 13%. Listings have surged 70% since last year, and the average home now sits on the market for about 75 days, with hundreds still unsold after 3 months. Sellers are slashing prices, sometimes 3 or 4 times, just to get showings. Flippers are losing money, investors are pulling out, and while foreclosures haven't reached 2008 levels, they've tripled since 2022. Local agents say short sale inquiries are rising, rental demand is softening, and out-of-town buyers, the ones who once fueled Stockton's boom, have all but disappeared. The city's infrastructure was never designed to support a rapid influx of new residents, and now that demand has evaporated, the downturn is accelerating faster than anyone expected. Neighborhoods that once symbolized promise, like Weston Ranch and Spanos Park, are now dotted with for sale signs and deep price cuts. Stockton's biggest selling point used to be affordability, but with prices falling, job diversity lacking, and investor confidence gone, that edge is fading fast. The city's rise was fueled by pandemic migration, but as the tide goes out, Stockton is showing just how fragile that boom truly was. Number 9. Irvine. Irvine, once considered the gold standard for planned suburban living, is quietly slipping into a housing crisis. Inventory has jumped more than 60% year over year, while median home prices have fallen between 6% and 9%, with sharper drops in newer developments. The average mortgage payment for a starter home now tops $3,200 a month, pushing many local families and young professionals out of the market, people who once believed Irvine would be their forever home. The problem? Developers overbuilt just as demand began to fade. Office spaces in the Irvine spectrum are sitting half empty. Annual insurance costs have climbed to around $6,500, even in areas considered safe from fire risk. Builders who scrambled to meet pandemic-era demand now face unsold inventory. Those sleek new townhomes that used to sell within days, they're now lingering on the market for 45, 60, even 90 days. Agents are privately advising sellers to prepare for multiple price cuts before seeing an offer. Investor activity has slowed dramatically, and in neighborhoods like Great Park, there's already evidence of shadow inventory building up. Irvine still shines with great schools, low crime, and walkable communities, but those strengths can't outrun soaring rates, fading confidence, and a rapidly shifting housing cycle. First time in decades, Irvine doesn't look untouchable. Number 8. Fresno. Fresno had its moment. During the pandemic, buyers flooded in, prices soared, and new developments popped up all over the Central Valley. But now, that growth has gone silent, and the quiet is getting louder each month. Home prices have dropped by more than 10%, especially across South Fresno and Clovis. Builders are throwing out major incentives, rate buy-downs, zero-down programs, and closing cost coverage. But even with all those perks and cash rebates, buyers aren't biting. Construction has slowed but hasn't stopped, which means excess inventory keeps building up. Rental demand is weakening too. The investors who once bought homes in bulk are now selling at a loss. Insurance premiums have climbed sharply, especially in areas at risk for fire and drought, pushing total monthly costs well beyond what most local wages can cover. Whole blocks in new subdivisions are now lined with for sale signs. The excitement is gone. The urgency is gone. What's left is a market cooling with no clear bottom in sight. Fresno was once seen as California's next up-and-coming city, a future powerhouse of affordability and growth. But in 2025, it's a city in free fall, dragged down by overbuilding, too much supply, and a shrinking number of qualified buyers. And right now, no one knows where the decline will stop. Number 7, Riverside. Riverside was once the standout success story of the Inland Empire. Just a few years ago, it was where Los Angeles buyers went to stretch their budgets. More space, bigger homes, and plenty of shiny new neighborhoods. But by 2025, that appeal has faded, and the downturn is impossible to ignore. Median home values have dropped 16%, while active listings have climbed 85%. In areas like Eastvale and Corona, entire subdivisions now sit half-sold. Builders are throwing in backyard landscaping, $25,000 credits, and other extras just to get traffic through the door. But even with all that, interest is thin. The problem isn't just falling prices, it's a shift in lifestyle. Remote work once made Riverside a winner, until it didn't. With companies calling employees back to the office, the 90-minute commute is back on the table, and for many, it's unbearable. Add in rising gas prices and tighter schedules, and buyers are walking away. Insurance premiums have also skyrocketed, especially in fire-prone areas, now averaging about $7,200 a year, making affordability even harder. Meanwhile, investors who snapped up multiple homes during the boom are quietly selling below peak prices just to cut their losses. Riverside still has the bones of a strong city, good infrastructure, a prime location, and a large population. But in 2025, that potential feels distant. The market is stuck somewhere between the memory of a boom and the reality of a slowdown. And for now, recovery seems a long way off. Number 6. Bakersfield. Bakersfield, long viewed as California's affordable backup plan, is now facing its own round of price cuts, and the drop is picking up speed. Median home prices have fallen 14%, active listings are up 60%, and homes under $400,000, once snatched up instantly, are now sitting for 50 to 70 days with multiple price reductions and little buyer interest. Sellers who once stood firm are now offering concessions just to get people through the door. Job growth has slowed, and the city's two main industries, oil and agriculture, are under economic strain. The wave of remote workers that boosted demand during the pandemic has stopped coming. Builders, confident the boom would last, overbuilt, and now entire developments sit half-empty, with model homes feeling more like warnings than welcome signs. Neighborhoods like Seven Oaks and City in the Hills, once hot markets, are seeing steep reversals. Appraisals are coming in below contract prices, and financing is falling apart. Bakersfield isn't crashing as hard as the coastal cities, but it's still heading down, and fast. For working families and first-time buyers who saw this city as their shot at home ownership, that dream is now slipping out of reach. Before we move on to the next city, take a moment to subscribe. What you're seeing here isn't just data, it's a warning, and you won't find this kind of detail anywhere else. Number 5. San Jose. San Jose, the heart of Silicon Valley, was once seen as untouchable, a city fueled by innovation, billion-dollar startups, and a workforce that could afford sky-high prices without blinking. But in 2025, that confidence has cracked. Median home prices are down over 12%, and in downtown San Jose, where luxury condos once sparked bidding wars, values have dropped nearly 20%. Homes in Almaden Valley and Evergreen, which were impossible to find below $2 million, are now being discounted by hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not only the layoffs, though those hit hard. Meta, Google, and Cisco have all cut thousands of jobs. The real shift came when remote work broke the link between where people live and where they work. Now, many tech workers are taking their salaries to states like Texas or North Carolina, where they can buy twice the house for half the stress. Office vacancies are climbing, cafes near tech campuses are closing earlier, and investors are staying out of the market altogether. The long-held belief that real estate in San Jose would always rise is gone. San Jose still has massive economic influence, but in 2025, that no longer guarantees real estate security. For many homeowners and investors, this downturn has been a wake-up call. Number 4. San Diego. San Diego, long celebrated for its sun-soaked beaches and lifestyle, is showing unmistakable signs of a real estate downturn. Median home prices have dropped nearly 9% since their peak, with sharper declines of up to 13% in neighborhoods like Claremont Mesa, La Mesa, and Serra Mesa. Downtown condos are particularly affected, falling 12 to 15% as tourism shifts, office demand falls, and remote work pushes buyers either inland or out of state. Short-term rental owners are struggling as bookings decline and regulations tighten, prompting many second-home investors to sell properties that no longer generate cash flow. Even traditionally stable inland suburbs like Rancho Bernardo and Mira Mesa are experiencing homes sitting on the market for 45 to 60 days, with price reductions of $50,000 to $100,000 becoming common. Insurance premiums have climbed to over $9,000 annually in some areas, even those far from fire-prone zones. San Diego still offers world-class weather, top universities, and coastal prestige. But in 2025, those advantages are no longer enough to sustain prices that have long outpaced income growth. For the first time in years, the housing market here feels vulnerable, and buyers are beginning to take notice. Number 3, Sacramento. Sacramento, the state capital, was once an affordable refuge for Bay Area residents seeking relief from skyrocketing prices. But in 2025, the city is deep into a housing correction, and the cracks are becoming impossible to ignore. Median home prices have dropped nearly 11% since their peak in 2022. Inventory has surged, flooding neighborhoods like Nomis, Elk Grove, and Roseville with listings. Many homes have been on the market for 60 to 90 days, often enduring 2 or 3 price cuts without attracting buyers. Properties that once received 20 offers now struggle to get a single showing. The causes are multi-layered. High mortgage rates are pricing out first-time buyers, and local incomes haven't kept pace with pandemic-era surges. Institutional investors who once dominated the Sacramento market are now offloading properties or halting planned developments entirely. During 2020 and 2021, Sacramento boomed. Tech workers fled San Francisco, remote buyers purchased sight unseen, and builders raced to meet demand. But by 2025, that demand has largely vanished. Homes purchased at the peak are now worth $60,000 to $100,000 less. Sacramento still offers job security through the state government and continues to grow its infrastructure, but buyer confidence has evaporated. Once seen as a safe harbor, the capital now stands as one of the clearest signs that California's housing downturn isn't limited to coastal cities. It's statewide. Number 2, San Francisco. San Francisco, perhaps the most iconic housing market on the West Coast, is no longer merely correcting, it's unraveling. Median home prices have fallen over 15% since 2022, and in dense urban neighborhoods like Soma, the Mission, and the Tenderloin, declines are closer to 25%. Condos are particularly hard hit. Unsold units are piling up, with some luxury towers offering major price reductions, waiving HOA fees, and still seeing no offers. Office vacancies remain sky-high. Streets that were once bustling with tech workers and tourists now feel empty by mid-afternoon. The hybrid work model has permanently reduced weekday populations, shrinking demand for housing that once felt limitless. Buyers are cautious. Earthquake retrofit requirements loom. Insurance premiums have spiked, with older properties facing sudden cost increases. Add rising concerns over crime, political instability, and a struggling retail sector, and the San Francisco market's shine is fading fast. Sellers are cutting prices, investors are stepping back, and some developers have paused construction mid-project. Even longtime residents are reconsidering their future in the city. While San Francisco still carries prestige and houses innovation, in 2025, that prestige alone isn't enough. Buyers are gone, the allure has dulled, and the housing collapse is no longer subtle. Number 1, Los Angeles. Los Angeles, the city of dreams, glitz, and constant reinvention, is now the epicenter of California's housing collapse. Inventory has surged 75% year over year, and median home prices have fallen 17% since the 2022 peak. In high-profile neighborhoods like Silver Lake, Highland Park, and Brentwood, the situation is even worse. Prices are down more than 20%, homes sit on the market for over 90 days, and buyers are staying away. The causes are widespread. Short-term rental regulations have tightened, foreign investment has dropped, and property taxes, city fees, and mansion levies have all increased. Add the threat of expanded rent control, development freezes, and permitting delays, and the message to investors is clear. Caution. Even high-income buyers are pausing, with average mortgage payments skyrocketing and insurance premiums hitting $10,000 to $14,000 annually. In hillside or fire-prone areas, homeownership has become out of reach for many, even those earning 6 figures. Spec homes in Beverly Grove remain unsold. Flips in Echo Park are failing. Entire condo projects in Koreatown and DTLA are being converted into rentals. While Los Angeles still shines culturally, with art, film, and fashion, it's facing a very different reality beneath the glamour. This isn't a temporary dip. It's a structural shift. In 2025, LA isn't just following the trend, it's sounding the alarm for what's coming next. If you've made it this far, you know this isn't just content, it's clarity. Subscribe to our channel to never miss a shift like this. Where does California go from here? Price drops are real, pressure is rising, and for millions of buyers, sellers, and investors, this is more than a trend. It's a pivotal moment. Decisions made now will echo for years, and a single zip code could mean the difference between equity and regret. Timing, insight, and preparation aren't just helpful, they're essential. From coastal cities to desert towns, the housing dream is changing. Cracks are appearing in places once thought unshakable, and what was considered a safe bet is now a risky gamble. The key is staying informed, paying attention, and understanding the numbers, because they don't bend to wishful thinking. Subscribe to State Stories, not for hype, but for real-time breakdowns of the seismic shifts reshaping America's housing markets. California's dream is being rewritten, not by developers or lawmakers, but by interest rates, inventory, and the hard realities of affordability. We'll be here to document every story, every shift, every chapter of this massive American transformation. Don't just watch the collapse, understand it, and stay ahead.